evening and welcome to CAN TV. My name is Imani Rupert-Gordon and my pronouns are she, her, and hers, or they, them, and theirs, and I'm the Executive Director for Affinity Community Services. Affinity is a social justice organization and we work with the entire LGBTQ community with a special emphasis on Black LGBTQ women. We're excited to be here today, but before we get started, I want to say thank you to Jovan, a board member at Affinity, for answering phones. Jovan, you're amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, everyone, this is a call-in show, so if you have a question for our guests or you want to be part of the conversation or you just want to hear yourself on television, we would love to hear from you. So now please allow me to introduce my guest, Crew Make Do. Crew is the creative director specializing in multimedia, event planning, cosmic root work, astrology, and is the creator of the Black Lesbian Archives.
Yes.
Crew, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Imani. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, the pleasure's mine. It really is. So let's jump right in. So I always like to start and ask our guests what their professional careers look like, because we know that a lot of times people tune in because they want to hear about the resources and things that are happening in our city, but also some people are really interested in the type of work people do and how they can do it themselves. So I'm wondering if you can share your career trajectory and how you became the creator of the Black Lesbian Archives.
Will do. Well, I am a full-time artist. I DJ definitely spring, summer time for nonprofit organizations and organizations that cater to women, because I love women. I also do documentary photography and filmmaking. So if you ever need a photographer or a videographer for any of your events, portrait photography, anything like that, let me know. And I also do cosmic root work astrology, so discovering your creative endeavors in this lifetime, and I do past life regressions as well. So if you would like to know what you were up to in the past life, let me know. Black Lesbian Archives. Black Lesbian Archives started in June of 2017. I was in Williamsburg, Virginia on a riverbank. I always like to say this because it was just so beautiful when it started. I was kind of tired of binge watching, even though I love my lesbian short films and things like that. I was kind of tired of doing that. I'm a big history buff, so I started looking up information on Black lesbians on the internet, and it was scarce. It was a little scarce, guys. Also in libraries too. So that same day, I created the Facebook, I created an Instagram, I created a website, and I was just like, nah, we can't have this. So we just went fully in. It started as a digital archive, and then it made its way into a full-scale exhibit at Affinity, which was last year in the summertime from June to July, and it was amazing. So that's how the Black Lesbian Archives kind of spurred, had its little debut,
So yeah, actually that's what I was going to say. So you hosted the first one at Affinity last year.
Yes.
And I agree that it was amazing. Thank you so much for letting us be the first place to host.
Definitely. It couldn't be, what would it be if it wasn't? Well,
it's flattering. We were so happy to be able to host you.
Definitely.
But I'm wondering, can you tell us the importance of the Black Lesbian Archives and what have you found out that it's meant to folks?
Yes, Black Lesbian Archives started, well, you know why it started, but it was a tag on the erasure of Black lesbians in the community. It was just like, I didn't want to see our histories, our stories, our lives being put to the side. So when we created the exhibit and we had the exhibit and all these people came, and it was just, it was amazing. Like, especially opening night was just like, it was just like a life-changing experience. And people were just so connected because it brought up histories that people didn't know about. It brought back memories that people forgot about, and people were just so immersed in like just being in that, not even just the opening night, but everything that followed through with it. People were just excited about being immersed in a history that has been, once again, kind of like on the back end of things. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I appreciate everybody who did come through to all the events following the exhibit. I appreciate you. Thank you.
So what are the Black Lesbian Archives doing now?
So, the Black Lesbian Archives, BLA, is currently on tour in Chicago. We started off at Gerber Hart. Shout out to Gerber Hart, Will, and the whole team that was there. Zakia, everybody that, Zakia, Rachel, Casey, everybody that came through and supported. We were at Artemis for the Lesbian Feminist Chorus. As well. So right now we're currently on tour. The next place we'll probably be at in May is going to be DePaul. And what else? Oh, also doing some funding, just trying to get some funding for the house. Basically, I envision having a house for people who are dealing with suicidal thoughts, people who are dealing with mental illnesses, people who want to learn about herbalism and growing holistic health and building homes, and a place like a shelter, like a place where people can come if they want to eat, a place if people want to come and talk to somebody else, want to meet somebody new, maybe dabble, you know what I'm saying, if you're single, you know, or not, and all those types of things. So yes, the Black Lesbian Archives tour is a segue into something that I eventually want to turn into a home, a house in hopefully the near future. So yes, stay tuned.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wonderful. So what else do you do besides Black Lesbian Archives, and how do those things sort of intersect with the work that that you do?
Yes. So back to documentary style photography, videography, and things like that. Everything I was telling Money earlier, everything that I do centers around women. And I didn't really notice that until I had to like write down everything that I actually do. I'm like, what do I do? And when I went back to it, I'm like, women. Oh, well, women in more ways than one. I didn't mean it like that. But yes, everything that I do comes back, the root, the foundation of what I do is centered around women. I love women. Anything from DJing to my photography work, working with women in astrology and things like that. So yeah, in a roundabout way, even when it ties into BLA, everything comes back to my love for women. So yes. Yes.
Thank you, Drew. So let's switch gears a bit.
Yes. Let's do that.
So why don't you tell me one of the successes that the Black Lesbian Archives have had?
Yes. The unification of people, the bridging of the gaps between people of different walks of life, as far as like age and different culture backgrounds and skin colors and things like that. Just seeing people being able to come together as a collective and, you know, share stories. Older people are my wiser folks. People don't like to be called old, so my wiser folks, and then the young bloods coming in and coming together and having like real serious conversations. Like, yo, I've been through this, and like, well, I've been through this, and seeing how those worlds intersect in their own way, but also build on the foundation that we've already set. So I think that's been one of the most successes. It's just seeing that and just being immersed in that. It's amazing. Definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've done a lot. You've worked with a lot of people.
Yes.
Is there anyone that you've been able to work with that changed your life or your perspective or the way that you think about things?
Yes. It's a wonderful person that I am sitting next to right now here on Can TV, Imani.
True.
Okay, so Imani has been with me through the beginning of when BLA started, and she has been the biggest supporter in this process. When I first came to Chicago, I was a little nervous because I'm like, I'm kind of a new fish in the pond, guys. Like, you know, nobody knows me. I mean, people know me, but it was like I was coming in uncharted territory because I'm not from Chicago. You know, it was my first couple months actually being in Chicago. When I came to Imani, immediately there was no question. There was no like, girl. It was just like, what do you need? Like, what do you want to do? What are you trying to do? How do you want to do it? How do you see it? It was just a very progressive, a very like just beautiful, warm welcome to Chicago and starting this project. So I just want to thank you for that, Imani. Come on, give me a
my goodness.
Thank you so much for that. I really do. Get you an Imani.
Wow.
Get you an Imani. if you need it, definitely. So thank you for that.
Oh my goodness, Crew, the pleasure and honor was mine. Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words. That wasn't the plan, y'all.
No, not at all, not at all. It just, when I saw this, it was the first thing. She is the first person I thought of when doing this project. Is like her being consistent throughout when I started versus where I am now, and we are still here. You know what I mean?
You are so kind.
So I appreciate you, and even having me here, like even asking me to be on the show to do what I do. Like I definitely like.
I mean, I'm so proud of the work that you're doing, and I'm so happy that we get a chance to talk about what you're doing. I mean, you saw something that was missing from our community, and you found a way to make it happen, and it's beautiful, it's admirable.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have the privilege of being here while it happened. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for the incredibly kind words.
No, definitely.
So sweet.
Thank you, Imani. Appreciate it.
So we're back, y'all.
I had to do a little. Definitely.
So, I also want to know, what has been the most difficult part of creating the Black Lesbian Archives? And if there's anything that you've learned or anything you would do over, what would that be? What have you learned? What would you do differently?
Oh yes, relinquishing control. Oftentimes when I was gonna say we, but this is yes. When I start projects, I like to have my hands in every basket. I'm like, no, this has to be this way. This has to be. For those of you that don't know, I'm a Leo Virgo cusp, so my Virgo side comes out when dealing with projects, and I like to have my hands in every single thing. So what it did was, even though the event was highly successful, might I add, it caused a lot of stress on myself mentally, and it's only because I put that on myself because I was trying to do everything at once. And it's like, let people do what they do, how they do very well. You can sit down. Like, just take a break. Like, and that's one thing I do want to put out there to the world and everybody who's watching, like, if you have a project and you know there's people around you that can really help you do what it is that you need to do, not use them, but help you, and y'all can cultivate something in what you do, let it happen. You don't have to do what you need to do, how you need to do it, and let people come around you in your vision and in y'all's vision together and create what you need to create. So this year I had to take a step back and be like, okay, what do you need, girl? What do we need? Like let's not jump ahead. We don't want to be there this year. So taking a step back and letting people do what they do.
That is a great answer, and a lovely thing to learn so early on in your career.
Early.
Yeah. It takes some of us a little longer than that. Yeah. So, and always good to hear. Always good to hear.
Definitely. Yep.
So I'm wondering, what do you have to share with entrepreneurs or folks that want to see something, they want to do something that's never been done before? What advice would you give them?
Just do it. No Nike. This is not a promo for Nike. But just do it. Like, if you have or you see a vision of something that you want to do, talking about it ain't gonna make it happen. Dreaming about it ain't gonna make it happen. Just figure it out. I'm a very much so a visual learner. I like to write things down and put things down and look at them, vision boards and things like that. Just lay it out. See what comes out of your mind. That's all of our minds is always constantly going, and see what you come up with. See what you need, you know what I mean? And just break it down from there. It's never gonna happen if you don't start. If you feel uncomfortable about it, I tell you, if you feel scared about it, overwhelmed by it, you need to do it. Because that's the thing that's going to challenge you to keep breaking through those barriers and keep making you move forward. And the people that you meet along the way, nothing compares to that. Nothing compares to the people that you meet along the journey by just having a vision of let's start it. Let's just make it happen. Let's just see what happens. So, yeah, just start. Just do it. No Nike,
That's a good one. No, you're right. So, if folks want to get involved with Black Lesbian Archives, what would they do? Do you take volunteers, sponsors? How do people get involved?
Yes, definitely sponsors. Hello, how you doing? My name is Kumi. Do come talk to me. And also volunteers as well. Volunteers, I'm looking for people who do photography, video, welcome, the welcoming committee, you know what I mean? Editors, video editors, anybody who knows how to edit videos, and also grant and sponsorship proposal writers as well, for funding for events, current events and future endeavors and things like that. So if that's you and you are looking for, you want to be a part of a collective, dope collective of, archivers and things like that, and other connections that we make with not just the Black Lesbian Archives, but other archivers doing this work, let me know. Holla at me. Definitely, we can make it happen. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So I wanted to go back to something else that you said a little bit earlier. So the Black Lesbian Archives, you'd like to see, your dream is to see that turn into a home, a center, a spot where folks can go. Why do you think that the Black Lesbian Archives lends itself to being successful in moving in that direction?
So why would this be like the base?
Yeah, how do you see that happening? Like, why do you think? What do you think the Black Lesbian Archives has that that would help make that sustainable? That would make that a good next step?
I think it's the community. I think the more that we can tap into our our intersections, like how we connect and figure out, okay, what do we need and why is this needed? Like why is this something that we need in this location? I don't know if I did I say the South Side? But it's gonna be on the South Side if I didn't say that already. Would be really getting that support from people within these communities to realize that, like, this is something that's actually not something that we're just doing to do, but this is actually like a need, like a base is needed, a base. And it's not just for Black lesbians. Also, I want to say the house would not just be for Black lesbians. I don't know exactly what the house would be called. I really don't. But I definitely see it being for people within the community, fam, LGBTQ, rainbow, whatever you want to call it. Like, I see it being like a collective thing that we all have for each other. So I think in turn, even though I know it's going to take a lot and I know it's going to be a lot, I do feel like we have the capacity to make it happen. If I could see it in my mind, and I know it's a far stretch, if I can see it in my mind, I believe that I can make it, like, manifest in this physical reality. And that's what I plan to do regardless. Like, I'm just like, throw them at me. What do you need? Like let's do it. Let's bring people together who have all these strengths, and let's see what we can make. Let's see what we can build now. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever obstacles come our way, we have the capacity to make it happen. So let's make it happen. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
I love it. I love it. So the last word's yours. Is there anything else that you'd like to know? Anything you think we've missed?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would like to give a shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? Gerber Hart, Windy City Toms, Affinity Community Services, Roe, Air, Law 91 Media, Zakia, Rachel, Casey, CM, Ujo, everybody who's been in, and everybody that I missed, and everybody who's come to the events, and everybody who hasn't been able to come to the events but still show love. I just want to thank everybody for that. I really, really do appreciate y'all time and time again for trusting the kid, you know what I mean, with such valuables, and dalliances. But yeah, I think that's all I really have. And I hope to see y'all at future events with the BLA, and not even just with BLA, but just other things going on in my center and, Affinity Community Services Center. And I mean, that's really all I have. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Wonderful. Crew, thank you so much, and know that we are so proud of the work that you're doing. So happy that it's happening in our community. You're amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you're doing, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Like, really.
Pleasure is absolutely mine.
Yes.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If you want to learn more about Crew, you can, or the Black Lesbian Archives, you can learn more at Crew, KRU, maekdo.wix.com/info.
Working on the website.
But in the meantime, you can find them there. And thank you again for joining us. Remember, we're from Affinity Community Services. We host CAN TV the fourth Friday of the month. So we hopefully we'll see you next month. And if you want to hear more about us, you can find out more on our website at affinity95.org. And you can contact me at Imani at affinity95.org. Thank you so much. And Jovan, thank you so much for helping us out today. Really appreciate it. Good night.
Peace.